Are we filming? Yes, we are. Yes. So welcome to another video. A viewer of the channel, Dave, kindly sent me some photos, which I want to share with you. And basically, he has a Belgravia with the cracking leather inside the inside the binder. And I reached out and said on social media, you know, there's a way to resolve this. Bit long-winded, but it's actually perfectly doable without any specialist equipment. And so Dave has done this and sent me like a before and after picture, as you can see here. But I just wanted to talk about this because it's not a scary thing. It's not a scary thing. I mean, it's time consuming and annoying. And you think to yourself, when you buy a car and it's been tested for hundreds of thousands of miles in the deserts and in the Arctic, just to shake down the design, to see whether there are any problems with the design of the car that might cause some political cost to the transaction. In other words, if they don't spot a problem and they start making these cars, or in this case a binder, surely someone should put their hand up and say, hang on a minute, there's a problem here. But it is busy. I don't know. I'd love to be a fly on the wall when they were talking about this, or maybe they didn't even. I don't know. I don't know. In fairness to them, I don't know. It may just be just a bit of an accident at the manufacturing process. But the thing is, this cracking of the leather, we don't know how many models are affected. Well, we kind of do, but we're seeing it consistently on let me show you a few. That's probably the best thing. So we're going to start with the one that in my possession that started it off, and this is the Guildford's extra slim in personal size, and you can see. Let me show you another one here. So this is how it starts. This is how it starts out. It's got. It's a fantastic design, and very good flatability. Fantastic, and it's got a slip pocket here, and it's got some card pockets and a bigger pocket here, and then this is a like a secretarial flap and a pen loop. I don't like this pen loop, but you know, it is what it is. And you've got this leather that peels. So you peel it off, as I've done here, and underneath there's this sort of rubber surface, which looks okay. But then let me just zoom in and show you. Look, can you see that? Here is a good example. This is okay for a while, but even then that starts peeling. This sort of under, I don't know, it's kind of a rubbery material. And then underneath you can see this sort of woven fabric base, okay, which is what you see here, this woven fabric base. I decided that this would work for me. Let me zoom out again. So this works for me from a point of view of I have in the past used this quite a lot, and I guess what I'm using now. I mean, I don't have a problem with using this because I do rotate, but what I'm a big fan of now is this kind of binder. But do we have to? I think I might have to. censor that bit. But this is the sort of binder I like, where it doesn't have any pockets. It's very, very simple. And in this particular case, this is a Woozy Studio one. But as you know, I like Plotter, and I particularly like the Me Plus, because it's one piece of top grain leather, and so you don't have to worry about this sort of peeling stuff, because there is nothing to peel. It's just a piece of leather, which over time will mature, develop a patina, as we say in the UK, or a patina if you are living in some other countries, a patina, and it just gets better and better and better. But if you have one of a number of binders where this peeling is an issue, then you have to either deal with it or just, well, you just have to deal with it. Otherwise, you'd go nuts, wouldn't you? But this is a problem with the Guildford line. I want to show you this, because this is a bit of an interesting one. So this is a ostensibly, I mean, I've bought it over a year ago, but it was a brand new Guildford Mini Extra Slim in mini size. And I've had two of these. I've got one that ended up like this. I had to peel off the leather look material, and then that rubbery stuff, that rubbery crumbly stuff after that, to reveal this material underneath, which I quite like, actually. But I had one that was appalling, because I was using it all the time, and I still think this is the greater, in terms of design and function, form, if you like. It is the greatest Filofax ever made. It's the smallest one, and I love it. Although recently I have transitions to a very similar thing, in as much as Plotter and Me Plus, these binders work for me because they've got perfect flatability. The Guildford Mini Extra Slim is pretty good, but not perfect, but good enough, and this works for me. The only thing that this lacks is pockets, if you need those pockets. And so I do have a solution, and that is my D-ringed Portland, Filofax Portland, similar age to the other the binders that are crumbling. This is apparently made of tumbled leather, where the skins are tumbled around in something like an enormous drying machine, and I don't know what I don't want to strip this down with a scalpel and have a look at the composition, but these I mean, I've got several Portlands of different sizes, and they work really, really well. And what I like about this mini Portland, I mean, I'm drifting off here, aren't I? But what I like about the mini Portland is you've got a full-length flap at the back. You've got some credit card slots, 3 credit card slots. You've got a full-length flap here. And what I do, what I have in here is, let me get organised here, because my desk is an absolute mess. But that's part of the course for me. But I have got, what I'm carrying is, holy moly, look at all this. I've got some money, and I've got some treasury tags, and I've got basically like a notebook, a never-ending notebook. So you remove some paper at the front, add new paper at the back, and so effectively it's a never-ending notebook. I did have a diary in here and a to-do list, but that is now in a personal size Me Plus. But there's probably 50 pages there, and I've got some receipts, and then I've got a Me Plus card holder, leather card holder, which is fantastic, absolutely fantastic, because it's got the loop that will act as a securing strap, and then a few receipts. But if you look at all that, that's a lot of like stuff, which this Portland admirably accommodates, whereas my Portland's, because it doesn't have pockets, you're comparing chalk and cheese, because obviously this is a very minimalist thing, and it works very, very well as a notebook. I just quite often carry this, and my Me Plus as well. I have a Me Plus, similar size, mini size Me Plus, absolutely lovely. I prefer the Me Plus, but right now I'm using the plotter, because I've got a Me Plus personal on long-term test, maybe for a year or so, and I'm using even though I absolutely love the Me Plus, I'm using this plotter long-term test. So this is what I like, but from a point of view of having an EDC that carries everything, this a plotter with all these pockets, and I want to just basically talk about this. The reason I'm holding this is this and this come from a similar era in terms of the Filofax timeline, and one of them, the leather is absolutely bulletproof, apart from the fact that the rings appear to be very, very fragile. So they just fell apart. They fell apart. But luckily, I'm familiar with Treasury tags. I used to use them nearly 40 years ago at work, Brilliant. But this works very, very well, and the leather is, even the lining is made of leather, whereas the lining to a Guildford Mini Extra Slim, or indeed the ones that Dave is using, they're not so good. Unfortunately. Here is another one which is called the Executive, imaginatively enough, and I've deliberately, what I've done is I've used this, but to see what happens to the leather if you don't take remedial action, and the issue is that it goes all sorts of horrible here, and then you find that every time you open it, every time you touch it, little bits fall off. On this side, I've taken it down to this sort of blue grey woven material, but on this side, I've deliberately left it like this to see what happens long term. And you can see how if you leave it on, it there is an element of peeling, but there is an element of crumbling. I call it crumbling, where you just get. Am I going to get some on my? Look, can you see that? I've just scratched this here. I've just scratched it, and then some more, and so you get these bits that just never ending. You could probably use this, well, so long as the rings don't fall apart, and there's no guarantee they won't. You'll get all these bits, and it will probably be like this forever. So the only way to get rid of this is to take some drastic action, like Dave has done, as you can see in the photos. Belgravia, that is a model that you should buy with caution, and the expectation that it's going to be a bit nasty. You're going to have to do some work. And the way I removed the nasty stuff is to end up with this. I haven't really not cleaned it. There is some vestiges here of the glue. You can see this. So I could go on and on and on, but this is a function. This isn't a beauty contest. This is a functional thing, but you have to attack it. How do you get this stuff off? Excuse me. How do you get this nasty stuff off? Well, the leather is fairly easy, but then you have to start scrubbing. And what I have discovered, Dave uses a different. Dave explained that he used a different procedure, but basically, you get a stiff brush, like a stiff paintbrush. I use a stiff paintbrush on this, but maybe a toothbrush might be a little bit faster, maybe better. And what I did, I soaked the entire binder in water for about 24 hours, I think. Certainly overnight. And then I attacked it with a stiff paintbrush, and this horrible stuff, this really nasty stuff, you can see it's just sort of starting to start crumble. Let's see if we can just take a... Well, you can see that it comes off fairly easily. But I've left these in different stages. So I've got one that I've completely removed the horrible stuff. One that I've just peeled the leather to reveal this sort of rubberized layer. And then I've left this. So this is my ostensibly brand new Guilford Mini Extra Slim. And indeed, when I opened the package and looked at it, there was no cracking of the leather. But I've left this in its box, and do you know what? Am I still filming? Yes, we are. Even though this is boxed and I've never used it, the very fact that I've opened it a few times to have a look at it and feature it on one or two videos, look what's happening. Look what's happening. Can you see that? And underneath there, you can see all that the cracking is all the way down to that blue-grey substrate. Let's have a look at the other end. And yeah, look, see? You can see the substrate underneath. And there's one going there. So there's no escaping this. It's going to happen. As sure as eggs are eggs, that's an English phrase, it is going to happen. But the one good thing is, even though I don't know why Filofax themselves, the Filofax brands, allowed this situation to occur. There must have been, I mean, I don't want to be cruel, but let's be a little bit cruel. There must have been someone at Filofax who said, hang on a minute, the sort of leather look lining inside is cracking and it's going to be really bad. And then what's going to happen if we allow this to carry on? Then there's going to be people sending theirs back under warranty. There might in the future be a social media channel which would be video based, where people can upload videos of these binders, and it's going to make us look a little bit bad. It's going to be very embarrassing for the brands. Or it might be the case of they don't care. Well, they've made the sale. Let's move on. So I would love to know the discussions or lack of with regards to this thing that appears to be a problem with the Guilford range, the executive range, with the Belgravia range. I mean, Belgravia is a very, very posh, and with a capital P, a very posh part of London. So it's kind of gives the illusion of quality, and taste and expense and luxury. And indeed, on here it says this is the Mini Executive. It actually says, just in case you didn't know, it was a luxurious product. It says Filofax Mini Executive for executive style people, presumably, and it says deluxe leather. Actually, I think the emphasis is bossing is really good quality, and the leather outside feels sensational, really good. I know that I don't know what's under here, and there's a little bit of padding, and there's an awful lot of. This is essentially a man-made binder with a leather covering, but it's really nice. I mean, it just feels really, really good, and it's only let down by this lining. But I've noticed recently that the lining in Lyndhurst models, and I'm a big fan of Lyndhurst models, that is starting to go. That is starting to go as well. So there's probably been a handful of years where this problem must have manifested itself by people returning their binders and getting a refund, or there must have been some element of the staff that handle returns. They must have pointed out to bosses, oh, we're getting all these things and they're all cracking leather, and you would expect them to say, oh my god, yeah, we've got to do something about this. But I wonder whether they make these in batches in factories in the Far East now. I wonder, since about the mid 90s, I think, and maybe they were already made, and it took some time to sell them. So they must have taken a decision to carry on selling a product which was clearly faulty. But maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know. I would love to know why this problem wasn't identified in product testing, before they started manufacturing it, which speaks volumes that either there was no product testing, or they product tested them and decided they were going to carry on anyway and hope that there weren't too many returns. I don't know. It is a mystery to me. But this is obviously an issue. I'll upload those. I'll show those pictures, the before and after ones that Dave sent to me, because it is very good. He's done a neat job here. I wouldn't be put off buying a Belgravia. The very fact that you can see this in photographs on eBay, for instance. If you're buying obviously you're going to be buying a used one. It's not an easy thing to disguise. And recently there've been questions on social media about how to stick down this peeling leather. Well, obviously that's not going to work, because it is relentless. It's going to continue forever, long after you have gone. But there are options, because if you're prepared, because so many people are aware of this, partly I suppose because I've brought this to the attention of thousands, tens of thousands of YouTube viewers, who obviously think, I'll be aware of that when I buy one. It does mean that you can pick up one of these models that are afflicted with the dreaded peeling leather, and it's not dreaded, but the dreaded peeling leather problem. There are certain cars, aren't there, that have specific problems that are known, and then and as the model matures in the marketplace. So you have to be aware of it. There are certain Ford models at the moment where people will buy them and immediately have a specialist change something, modify. I think it's the water pump. The water pumps on some Ford models, it's a great car, but then immediately it's bought, the owner sends it to a specialist to have the water pump replaced with a more reliable water pump. So it is a known issue, but everything else about the binder, well, apart from the rings might be fragile. I mean, oh dear, it starts to become a little bit depressing, doesn't it? But if you're lucky and you treat these rings with care, and to be honest, I've only had one lot of rings go wrong, and that was the Filofax Portland, but I'm assuming that the rings are the same. There is the prospect of buying one of these binders for less money than would otherwise be the case, because of the known problem, and then you can deal with the problem. What Dave did with his, I mean, as you recall, I just soaked mine overnight in water, and it didn't affect. It did. Which one are we talking about? This one, because some I haven't done it yet. So this one, I don't know whether this is just poor quality, or whether it's stretched because of the soaking water. I don't know. But what Dave did, which I think was a stroke of genius, instead of doing the whole leather, soaking the whole leather, he actually put blotting paper, wet blotting paper, on the areas he wanted to remove, and he used a brush. I can't remember. I think it was a toothbrush, and I'm actually going to try the blotting paper option if I get another one of these, and I've got quite a few. I'll probably get a few more, but I'm gonna go the blotting paper route, and see if that is doable. I mean, it clear from the results that Dave has produced, pretty good. But I'm going to leave it there. It's an interesting thing. I'm not bashing Filofax. What I'm saying is this is a known problem, and I have a way, and so does Dave, to resolve it. And there we go. So thanks very much for watching. I'll leave you with the before and after pictures that Dave Dave sent me, which are very, very good, aren't they? A tremendous difference. But apart from that, what am I going to say? Is there any housekeeping? Not really. Just do that. Do the. If you found this useful, then let me know by leaving a like, and if you didn't, then let me give me the thumbs down. But please leave a comment in the description telling me why you didn't like it. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching, and goodbye.